Shalom, this is Levi Shore. Welcome back to Sweet and Good Torah. We're going to do part 10 of the 13 principles of the Rambam. And today's principle is that Hashem knows everything. Alright, so let's jump right in. So, Ani ma'amin b'emunah shlema shehabore. I know with perfect knowledge that the Creator Yisbarach Shemo, blessed is His name, Yodea kol maaseh v'nei adam, that He knows all of man's actions, v'chol machshavosam, and He knows all of their thoughts. Shneimar, and the Rambam's gonna bring a pasuk from Tehillim. It's Tehillim 33:15, and it says, Hayotzer yachad libam, that He has molded every heart together, Hamevin el kol maasehem, and He understands what each one does. So we always get some help from the song the Yigdal to understand the Ani ma'amin better. And it says, Sofek v'yodea sesarenu, that He gazes, He sees, and He knows our secrets. Mabit lesof davar b'kad maso, that He sees everything at the end, at its very beginning. So let's jump into the Rambam's commentary on the Mishnah. And he says the 10th principle is that Hashem knows all that men do, and never turns His eyes away from them. It denies the opinion of those who say, and Ezekiel quotes this in 9:9. He says, Hashem has abandoned His world, that Hashem does not see. And this 10th principle refutes that. So this principle is taught by the Navi when he says that in Yirmiyahu, in Jeremiah 32:19, he says, great in counsel, mighty in insight, whose eyes are open to all the ways of man. We also find it assumed in the Torah in such places as in the book of Bereshit, of Genesis 6:5, that Hashem saw that the evil of man on earth was very great. And then in 18:20, it says that the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great. And these and similar pasukim all reflect this 10th principle. By the way, we're using Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan's book on the Ani ma'amin. Sorry I didn't say that earlier. So in the Rambam's Mishnah Torah, on the chapter on the Yesodei Torah, on the foundations of the Torah, he brings these down. He says, everything that exists, with the exception of Hashem Himself, only exists because Hashem gives it power to exist. So this is true of everything, from the highest malach, from the highest angelic form, to the smallest insect in the interior of the earth. So he also says that Hashem knows Himself and is aware of His own greatness, glory, and reality. So He must also know everything else. There's nothing that can be hidden from Him. So Hashem recognizes His true nature and knows it exactly as it is. This knowledge is not something that can be separated from His essence. In this way, it is very different from ours. For our knowledge is not the same as our identity. But in the case of Hashem, both He, His knowledge, His das, His chachma, His bina, His knowledge, His wisdom, His understanding, and His life are one. They're all yachad. They're one unity. And they are all one in every possible way and in the fullest definition of unity. So for if Hashem lives with a life, meaning if He lives and then He dies, or knew with a knowledge that was not equivalent to His essence, then we would have to say that there was more than one God. So for neither His life nor His knowledge could be inferior to His essence. So then we would have to say that there was more than one God. For neither His life nor His knowledge could be inferior to His essence. And therefore we would have to say that there were many gods. So His essence, His life, and His knowledge, all being equal, would have to be considered equally as gods. So this, of course, is not true. Hashem is one in every possible way, in the fullest sense of unity. So we must therefore say that He Himself is the knower, the thing that is known, and the knowledge itself. It's all one. So this concept is beyond the power of speech to express and beyond the power of the ear to hear. There's no way that the human mind can fully comprehend it. So we also know that this is true, however, from the very language of the Torah. When speaking of things other than Hashem, it uses such expressions as by the life of Paro, by the life of Pharaoh, and by the life of your soul. In the case of Hashem, however, the Torah never uses the expression by the life of God. Rather, it always uses the expression by the life Hashem. So this is because Hashem and His life are identical and not two separate entities, as in the case of physical beings and malachim, people and angels. So Hashem therefore does not recognize and know creatures because of themselves as we do. Rather, He knows them because of Himself. Everything depends upon him for existence, and since he knows himself, he therefore knows everything. So the Rambam wrote in the Mishnah Torah on the section on Teshuvah. He said we may then ask a very legitimate question. For we find a paradox between Hashem's knowledge of the future and man's bechira, his freedom of will, his free will. We must either say that Hashem knows the future and therefore knows whether one will be good or evil, or else we must say that he does not know. If we say that Hashem knows a person will be good, then it's possible for him to be otherwise. If, on the other hand, we say that Hashem knows that he will be good, and it is still possible for him to be evil, then we must say that Hashem's knowledge is not complete. So before going further, you must realize that the answer to this question is wider than the earth and broader than the sea. It involves a great number of important basic principles and lofty concepts. However, you must pay very close attention to what I am saying. In the second chapter of the Yesodei HaTorah, the foundation of the Torah, this is in the Mishnah Torah by the Rambam, we discuss the fact that Hashem does not know with a knowledge that is separate from his essence. In the case of man, we can speak of the individual and his knowledge as two separate things. In the case of Hashem, however, both he and his knowledge are one. This, however, is beyond our power of understanding, just as man cannot understand Hashem's true nature. This is what Hashem meant when he told Moshe in Shmos, the book of Shmos, Exodus 33:20, that man cannot see me and live. For the very same reason, man cannot understand Hashem's knowledge. God told us through his Navi, through his prophet, Yeshaya, in Isaiah 55:8, my thoughts are not your thoughts. My ways are not your ways. We therefore do not have the ability to understand how Hashem knows all things and actions. We know, however, without any doubt, that man has absolutely free will, and Hashem does not force him nor his decree upon him what to do. This is not only known from the traditions of our Masorah, our tradition, but it can also be proven logically, philosophically. For this reason, all Nevuah, all prophecy teaches that man is judged for his own actions, according to his actions, whether they be good or evil. And this is the foundation, and all Nevuah, all prophecy depends upon it. So I think it's interesting, because I think this is the only Ani Maamin where the Rambam actually brings down a pasuk. He brings down a verse from Tehillim 33, the Psalm 33. And he brings down, he has molded every heart together, he understands what each one does. And it's interesting because I think this is such a lofty concept that Rambam is bringing further proof from the Torah. Everything else maybe people can grasp, and this one is harder to grasp. But right, just as Hashem is this infinite being, he's unified, there's no one else, there's no other gods, he's the only one, that right, his knowledge must also be infinite. And it's hard for us to totally grasp that. But but Hashem knows everything. And I don't know, and then we'll see how it ties in. And then it also, I think this one affects us the most, because if we really internalize this one, it really affects our actions. If we really feel that Hashem is watching everything we say, everything we do, everything we think, then we're going to try to work on it. We're going to try to work on it to be better. We're going to try to have better thoughts and better actions and better speech. And, and I think there is the whole concept of all this fantasy of these movies and the fantasy the media is creating is they're trying to create a reality where there's not this infinite being that sees and does everything, so you can do whatever you want. But if you really internalize this concept, you're going to try to do your best. You love Hashem, you fear Hashem, you feel grateful for this life he's given us, and it's like a child trying to please a parent, and we really want our actions to be the best. And it's not just to please Hashem, it makes us into better people, and we feel better about ourselves. Like, you feel much better helping someone than hurting someone, for sure. And someone that desensitizes themselves and hurts people and starts going down that path, really has to fantasize that they're still good, because in reality they're drifting away from that. But I don't know what else to say. It's a very lofty concept. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you back again on Sweet and Good Torah. Thank you.